Anabolic steroids and human growth hormone. If ever for any group or party anabolic steroids was recommended and human growth hormone, it is for an HIV positive person. I will stick my neck out here blatantly and proclaim that when used correctly and with safe dosages and under a doctor's supervision, it is only beneficial to the HIV positive person to use anabolic steroids and human growth hormone. Due to the nature of the disease, as I mentioned earlier, it's a simple fact that the more muscle mass you have as an HIV sufferer, the better your chances of survival. And I don't care what doctor says what. If they disagree with me, sorry, they must disagree. But it's logic, you know, that the way that the disease works, the HIV disease, is that you need to increase your muscle mass if you want to increase your long-term survival chances of HIV. Most of the people that die of HIV die because of the glutamine that falls too low because of too little muscle mass that the body has. Remember this guy I see in my gym, this guy that's just this bag of bones, this guy that I'm pretty sure has got HIV, and I don't even know if he's still alive. This guy, if he used anabolic steroids and human growth hormone, I'm telling you, his chances for survival would increase drastically, because that helps you to build your body up, to restore that muscle mass to healthy levels. So please people, if you're HIV positive, make sure that you find a doctor, a medical doctor, that is open-minded enough on this subject. I've actually written a article on my blog about anabolic steroids. I'll put the link on the screen now. Please visit it. It gives a quick rundown as to the pros, the cons, the side effects, and you know, the more safer steroids and the different classes and so on, just to you know, get you going on the subject. Because if you ever do venture this road, you really need to understand how anabolic steroids work, how the different classes that exists, and what their risks is, and everything. You cannot venture on that road if you're not skilled. You really get to get yourself skilled on that road. Human growth hormone is mostly used with HIV sufferers when they have a side effect on their medication, lipodystrophy. Now, lipodystrophy means fat that disappear from the face, fat that goes and sit behind the neck, fat that goes around all the internal organs, and you get this bloated tummy. It's not a very nice side effect, and human growth hormone, or somatropin, has been used to a degree of success to bring that under control, because human growth hormone helps to melt away fats. Not really to that extent, but it's one of the more successful medications to get a fat, especially on the inner, around the organ layers, under control. Although human growth hormone is quite expensive, you can get black market versions that are fairly effective, that is quite a bit less expensive, but you need to do some searching for that. In my article on my blog about HIV, I'll put the link on the screen now, you will find specific suggestions that I got for which type of anabolic steroids and what cycles the HIV positive person should use. I suggest those purely because of their safety levels. It's the safest options when you venture in the anabolic steroid route, and those steroids have the least amount of side effects. You must remember that there's a reason why there's laws and things against anabolic steroids, because they do have potentially very harmful side effects. But you can choose wisely, and if you choose wisely with them, your risk is low enough so that for the HIV positive sufferer, the positive effects is great enough. HIV medication and side effects. A common side effect of people that just start with HIV medication is nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea, and that can go on for months, easily 1 to 2 months after you start with your medication. Now, it sounds awful, and it's not nice to go through that. A lot of HIV people suffer because of that. There is actually lately a bit softer medication available that makes it easier on the body, so it's not as bad as it was a couple of years ago. But even if that is the case, do not stop your medication when that happens. Work with your doctor through these problems. Work with him to control it to the best of your ability. Now, another point that I want to mention here is that when you go through that process of the side effect of vomiting, diarrhea, and throwing up, you will find that you will lose a lot of weight, and that weight will primarily be muscle weight. And again, that is the last thing that you want to lose when you're HIV positive. So one of the suggestions I got is that you might consider using some anabolic steroid like Primobolan Depot just before you start going on HIV medication for that 3-month period. The dosages do not need to be very high. You can take it at 300 milligrams every week. It is injectable, and that particular steroid has shown, number one, that it's got very little side effect. It is your safest anabolic steroid available, and number two, it protects your muscle when you're on a very low calorie intake. And when you go through that side effects with the throwing up and everything, you will lose a lot of your calories, and that anabolic steroid will then protect your muscle so that you don't lose the muscle, your precious muscle that you need to keep when you're HIV positive.